We have a saying around here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no brains, no headache.
Well, hello, boys.
What's up? What's up?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Episode 163 of No Brains, No Headache podcast starts right now. I'm your host, Jordan Weichel. Damn glad to be here. I'm also joined by my confidant, longtime friend. He's a Cubs fan. His name's Matt Ongo Cleary. Matt, as always, how are you?
You know, I'm getting a little nervous. Made the bet with myself that if the Cubs win 10 games in a row, I have to shave my head. And at time of recording, they are at 8 in a row.
But I also, at time of recording, it's the top of the ninth. They're down 3-0.
Okay.
So we are going to need a friggin' miracle. It's a real power move to make a bet with yourself and
Not the first time.
like stick to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like, oh, who bet you that you'd have to shave your head? It's like myself.
yeah, but it was, I feel like shaving the head's a little easier than showing up with pierced ears one day, where you also go stand in line at Claire's in the mall to get your ears pierced.
As like a drunk college student?
Yeah.
Was
so
that you?
Yeah, it was like me, a 6-year-old girl, and like an 8-year-old like girl and like a birthday party behind me in line.
And you were the only one that cried.
Yeah. Tears like crazy.
Okay. Let's party.
We got an exciting one planned for you here as we record the episode 163 of this mindlessly entertaining show that Matt and I have coaxed up over the last couple of years. A couple of North Dakota boys just shooting the shit weekly, verbally harassing each other. That's what we do. We're flying under the radar just the way we like it. It's the dog days of summer. Fucking, what day is it? Okay, we are recording on Sunday, July 30th. This will be out August 1? Whatever.
I don't know.
It'll be out whenever.
Yeah,
early August 2023.
Whatever Tuesday or whatever who cares? Whenever you're listening to it.
We got Cleary's Comments. That's the segment where we banter about random things. Of course, we're going to talk about Facebook Marketplace. Seems to be a weekly staple of just the things you come across on the social media platform. And then we're going to finish up with an Olympics. We're doing it a little different this week, so a good show ahead. Matt, why don't you get it started off? I see you have a really interesting topic here to start.
Yep. So fat people.
Okay.
We talked about the rodeo, the local rodeo that was in town, and it was like they sold out 4,000 people, and people were complaining that it was too close. But bleacher seats are meant for 18 inches per seat.
Okay.
I don't know if you know that, but that's tiny. That's like a 6-year-old. Everyone's shoulders is like wider than that. And I'm like, so why not we maybe cut down the number of people or make bigger bleachers because Americans are fat.
Rather obese.
Land of the free, home of the morbidly obese.
Oh, my sweet Jesus.
I mean, you were actually there, so I'm just speculating, but it doesn't sound fun.
You know, come to think of it, I wasn't really keeping an eye out for the largest humans ever. However, I do remember back in college, me and my roommates would play a game, like if we were out grocery shopping or just like...
Find the fatties?
Yeah.
I did that too.
Like anywhere, especially when you're on like a trip with your buddies and, you know, you're doing a little supply run or you're just going to grab some stuff from the store and it's like, all right, guys, who wants the first pick? And then you're like, okay, that one's mine. And you find the largest human in the store. Fantastic game. I might play it again.
I mean, I'm thinking about we should probably bring that back.
Do you want to go to the mall just to play that game?
Yes.
That would be great. Let's also dress up in disguises, though, so we don't run into anybody we know.
I'm dressed as like a bush in the mall.
I don't know.
Just dressed as a hot dog.
Let's get full-on ghillie suits and go regulate the public places of the fine town of Bismarck, North Dakota.
I mean, it's worth a shot. I mean, it could be something to do, I guess.
Get a lot of looks. A lot of looks.
I was going to say something about fatties.
I think you'd attract more attention.
Yeah, anytime I'm at an airport and like someone's sitting by my gate, you got to find the fatties and just hope you're not sitting next to one of them.
Dude, I lucked out one time. I had one right in front of me, and they were leaking out of the out of the allowed space they had.
The drink carts like hitting their
The hip,
the fucking
the
love
leg.
the love handle that's just bleeding out into the aisle.
Yeah, it's like they got to squish it in there. It's like putting a pillow inside of a pillowcase, and it won't quite fit right. The sizes are off.
This one guy that I knew, he's a rather bigger dude, and he sits in this chair, and we're breaking for a meeting, and he's like, "Hey, do you mind trading chairs with me? I think if I sit in this one again, you're gonna need a shoehorn to get me out of it."
Just back up the crane. Let's get this guy out of the chair.
Pew, pew.
Hold on, Matt. I got you covered. We don't have to do the there we go. That's more of a meat wagon, but you get the concept.
I played in a golf tournament, and one guy got a Arnold Palmer, so I just kept doing that for like 4 holes, and no one got it.
You kept saying Arnie Palmy alert.
Yeah.
That's respect right there. Big power move. You know, we're a big power move podcast. That's what we love here. Power moves, pro tips.
And it's a deep cut of a great movie.
Yeah, I think some people don't realize, like, if they're not used to hanging out with us or our group, and we just talk in movie quotes for about an hour or 7, like, there's like, what the fuck are these? They're just saying random lines.
Oh yeah, like we'll have full on conversations that's basically just recapping like a movie. And then we just sit there and laugh like schoolgirls.
Well, I don't know what you want from me, okay?
I don't believe it. Tommy just sold 500,000 brake pads.
Tommy just sold 500,000 brake pads!
That's a shitload of brake pads.
Yep.
And great movie as well.
Have you ever watched the show Hardcore Pawn?
Yeah.
This guy sold a watch, and he's like, "Yeah, this watch dealer is going to pay me like $42,000. Never paid him, and then all of a sudden, a truckload. He sent him 40,000 watch bands for payment.
What is a watch band?
Just like that leather band that like goes on a watch and goes around your wrist. So it's like, oh, great, I can't do anything with these, or I have to individually sell them and take out time, and it's like, great.
Yeah, probably should have figured that one out beforehand. But kudos to whoever named that show Hardcore Pawn. I mean, just says a lot about our society when it's just like, hey, you know what would be a good show that like pretty much any age individual could watch if they really wanted to, because it's on cable television? Hardcore Pawn, because it's referring to hardcore pornography.
If you turn on True,
and who doesn't like that?
If you turn on True TV, you're either going to get Impractical Jokers or Hardcore Pawn.
Both pretty ridiculous shows. But yeah, you got to watch out for the fatties. You know what I mean? Especially the hot time of year. It's sweaty, it's sticky. You can just see that you're thankful for your health when you're like, you know, I am sweating pretty profusely right now myself.
You know,
but
it could be worse.
Could be worse.
Yeah, really puts things in perspective. I usually like to go find the fatties and just follow them for about a half hour.
Yeah, that would help big time. But try not keep my cool. Keep my cool. My cool. Don't get a phone call all goddamn day. Start recording the podcast 8 minutes in. You know what? I'm just gonna, you know, live in my anger. Why try to fix it? You know what I mean? What's so wrong with that?
Yeah, you know what? Don't talk about it, be about it. Don't talk about your anger, just be angry.
You know what doesn't make me angry though, Matt? I am making my return to WeFest in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. It's going to be an absolute blast. What are your first thoughts when I tell you that?
The last time you went there, did you say, well, probably never coming back here again? Or did you always leave the door open?
I think it was just a matter of our friend group was kind of just over it. Like, I think everybody had their fix and checked it out, and it was fun. And then, like,
oh, we can just go drink at a bar and listen to country music.
Pretty much, I guess. And I mean, yeah, it's a whole experience. But yeah, I think it was just a matter of just not having a crew of people to go with. Like, at a certain point, we just stopped. Funny thing is, I think I went for like 6 or 7 years before my return now. And it's been as long of a gap since I've been there, about 7, 8 years. Out of those 6 or 7 times, I can't remember exactly, I was only 21 once.
I wasn't 21 when I went.
Did you try to give them an Oklahoma ID that kind of looked like you, and then they immediately confiscated it at the gate, and you already had one strike? That's what happened to me.
I remember that someone in our group that we went with, they're like, they woke up and they had 2 strikes on. They're like, I don't know what happened.
Gotta watch out for it. But WeFest out in Detroit Lakes, country music festival for those unfamiliar. Not too far from Bismarck, just past Fargo, North Dakota. So it's not like too far of a trek for us to make. Trying to look at the website here, and apparently I picked on the worst page possible. But they got a hell of a lineup this year. Just the headliners, first of all. Oh boy, Travis Tritt is there, I see. Got Morgan Wallen on Thursday night headlining.
That's crazy that he's on Thursday. He must have like a big show, and like.
Yeah, I figured that it came down to scheduling and smart on WeFest part, because everybody will definitely get their ass there Thursday night and get to town.
Pretty
because,
genius.
to be perfectly honest with you, if Morgan Wallen wasn't there this year, there's a decent chance I wouldn't really give a shit. But absolutely love the Wallen. Everybody does. Seems to just transcend through all sorts of music tastes and genre lovers.
Do you think you're gonna go to a lot of concerts?
I think I do. We have a ragtag group going, so it's going to be a pretty good time.
What campsite are you staying in?
I am staying in Blue Ox. First time at Blue Ox. Used to be a Hilltop guy. That's no longer a thing.
Hilltop's gone?
Hilltop is no longer a thing. They kind of like restructured their campsites because they actually did. When we went, it was different ownership.
Yep.
And then I think they actually, maybe what happened was they took a year off. I think there was a year where they didn't have it. So I think that kind of also helped us. That kind of was like the end of our crew and people I know going. I mean, obviously, know all sorts of people who go every year, but I haven't been there in a long time. So Morgan Wallen headlining Thursday night. You also got Chase Rice, Ernest, Bailey Zimmerman. He's hotter than a pistol right now. Ashlyn Grant. Don't know what she's about, but you might as well give her a little shout out. Friday starts out with Ben Burgess. Never heard of him. Jody Messina, Travis Tritt. I've already seen these people. Brothers Osborne, your boy Brad Paisley headlining Friday. Saturday, finish up with Ashley Cook. She might be worth taking a look at, Matt. She looks very beautiful. Neil McCoy.
I'll be the judge.
I think I already saw him. Blackberry Smoke. Gabby Bear. Okay, I don't know these people. But Kane Brown is headlining Saturday night, so should be a good time. Cowboy Troy's the MC, as I'm seeing here on the
hello, Ashley Cook
on the page. So we will see, Matt. I mean, the thing about WeFest is it's the ultimate campsite experience. Like,
I went to one concert when I was there, and I went to Darius Rucker and just kept yelling, "Play Wagon Wheel" so I can leave.
What are your like if you had to describe WeFest to somebody who had no idea what WeFest is, what would you say? And feel free to be as graphic as possible.
Overall excitement when you get there, which turns into drinking entirely too much. Then it turns into a third world country after about 2 days. It is a full-on fuck fest.
Now, what do you mean by fuck fest?
Not a lot of clothes are worn, and no one gives a shit.
Yeah, what do you do on a day-to-day basis at WeFest?
We were lucky enough to have a cabin we went to, and we'd basically all go there, blow up the bathroom, take a shower in the lake, and then go back and you
maybe eat.
Yeah, have a hearty breakfast and then just hammer as many beers as you can. Like, you just sit around and then you'd be like, I'm going to go for a walk. And you'd walk like one loop and you'd be like, well, that lasted long.
Yeah, but you could walk around and see some interesting shit because people like go nuts. I feel like there's a lot of people who just like, they'll sleep for a couple hours and the moment they wake up, they just start drinking. And you can always tell those people. I try not to do that because it's a dangerous game to play. And I'm
getting drunk out of just right into their tent. Actually, that happened to me. I broke my tent on the first night. And another guy sleeping in the tent, and he woke up, and the tent was just like 2 inches from his face because half of it was down.
Just collapsed.
And all I hear is, "God damn it, Matt!" And I was sleeping on like a bench outside of it.
But yeah, you can see some interesting shit. Like people have their little campgrounds like set up and all.
Oh, yeah.
like really set up and meant for you to party. There'll be like dance parties in the campgrounds. I remember one that I'll never forget. It was like Plinko, and so you had to get up on this fucking ladder, and these guys had this like tall Plinko board, and like you just drop like a washer down or whatever, and then you could win like a shot or a beer or whatever, but half of them were show your titties. So there's just a crowd of people just like watching these girls play Plinko, and then very soon after, security like gets called over because it's like bit of a safety concern when you have people climbing up to the top of a ladder.
Oh, yeah.
And they're drunk. And so unfortunately that got shut down pretty quickly, but that was a good memory. And obviously you can go to the concerts all day. There's all sorts of vendors. You could go get like, I remember one time my buddy got like a ass tat, not an actual tattoo, but just, little temporary tattoo on his ass. Obviously that's where an ass tat goes. And he like just recently started dating this girl and met her dad, and then thought it was a good idea to show her dad the fresh ass tat that he just got.
Are they still together?
No.
Wonder why.
Definitely not. I was like, well, that's WeFest for you. Just you're so drunk you have the balls to show your new girlfriend's dad your ass tat. Fantastic.
Well, because I remember inside like the concert bowl, everything they were selling was like things I didn't drink. I mean, I basically only drink like Busch Light, and so they always sell like it was like a Miller Coors, and so it's like, well, fuck, I don't want to drink that. So you just basically like, and Hilltop was really far away, the campsite, and so we were walking, and there's like kind of a marsh area that you're like on a wooden walkway, and one of my friends is holding 2 beers in his hands and his phone in the other one, and he finishes one of the beers. And I'm watching this. He's so drunk at this point, and I just see him launch his phone into the lake.
Like, because he's so drunk, he thought it was an empty beer.
Yeah. Throws his phone into the lake, and then just, like, looks at me. And I was like, dude, you just threw your phone in the lake. He's like, no, I got my phone right here. And, like, holds up the empty beer can. I was like, oh, my God.
You blew it!
The thing about it, though, is he showed up every day at like 4 because he lived in Detroit Lakes, and his mom would pick him up at the gate every morning, and he would go to work. He would get up at 5:30, use my phone to call his mom. She would come pick him up, take him to his construction job, and then he would show back up at like 4.
Let me ask you guguys. Beatles, Stones. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
All in.
Beatles.
You don't care.
That's when you know you're so drunk that you're like thinking.
Just his wind up too, and just like, oh God, the things they could find if they drained that lake.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to age us really bad here, if I'm even accurate, but I feel like that was when we went, it was still like iPhones were still kind of a new thing.
Yep.
So not everybody had the capabilities of location sharing and just like
I just got an iPhone.
Finding
4.
your phone.
Yep.
Yeah, and you just didn't have the capabilities you have now. And even when, like, I remember when I was even younger and just like went to the concerts and like met up with my, family members, like, and went to the campsite. That was flip phone city. Like, still had flip phones because I remember there's so many people there. There's like 80 to 100,000 people there easily. So it's just a crowd and a half. I remember there being just like a rule of thumb that, like, if you have to go to the bathroom or you just kind of got separated because there's so many people, like you could be standing 10 feet away from each other and have no idea where they're at.
Yep.
That you would just go stand outside the bathrooms and just watch for people because, like, you would eventually have to go there, and then like that's how you met up with people. Dangerous game.
Do you remember there was one guy in our group, his name rhymes with Schmoll, and he like didn't come back the night, and we're like in the morning, we're all kind of like getting ready to go to the cabin. We're like, well, he's dead. And then he like comes, we just see him walking up. He's like, yeah, this couple kind of found me and I was lost. So they just let me sleep in their camper. And I was like,
that's fucked up.
Yeah, I was like, that's weird.
You definitely cucked that guy. Sitting in the cuck chair. I do have another story, a few stories.
Hit me.
So one of them real quick, one of our good buddies, and I guess another good friend. You know, there's a lot of drinks, and I think like they were just kind of giving each other a lot of shit. And one got pretty angry to the point where like they started to get in a little bit of a tussle. And like from a distance, I see this, and I know like our one friend would get his ass kicked if but he was full on like ready to rock and roll, and like he's not much of a fighter. I think it was just a situational thing. And so I remember seeing it, and I'm like, I just ran over and tackled him and took him to the ground because I was like, no, dude, you will get your ass kicked. Like, and they had to separate. And then, of course, like 2 beers later, they're just like hugging and shit. And then another time, so there's always cops there. They're just kind of strolling around, you know, patrolling the area. A lot of people, and this is reminding me of another story.
I mean, the cops only like interfere if it's like an 8 or higher. Like they'll see stuff where I'm pretty sure they're like, probably shouldn't do that, but we got bigger fish to fry.
Well, it reminded me real quick that I had a friend get tossed in the back of a cop car, kicked out the window, got out, somehow got these cuffs off. I'm not making that up. But what I was talking about was I was on a tailgate mixing up a drink. Classic WeFest mixer is a beer, some sort of juice like OJ, and then a shot of flavored vodka, all mixed together.
And just using your finger to
pretty much
it around.
That's how you get going. So I'm mixing up a drink, and the crew of people is down from us a little bit. And of course, there's some cops rolling by, and they're like talking to the people, but it didn't seem like anything was real wrong. I didn't really know what was going on. And then all of a sudden, one of our friends, a very large human, went on to play college football, very tall, very broad. All of a sudden, he starts running kind of towards where I'm at. And I don't really know what's going on, but all of a sudden, the cops start chasing him, and one of them, like, kicked out his leg from underneath him, and this dude hit the ground, like, I don't know, 10, 15 feet away from me. I felt the ground shaking a little bit. It was like that scene in 300 where the rhinos are coming and he just launches the spear and then it just kind of slides to his feet. It's kind of what it reminded me of. Also reminded me of what an earthquake would be like. Large dude. And the cops like kind of gang tackle him a little bit. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going on? So turns out the cops were looking for a guy who like did something. Simultaneously, my friend asks, is that WeFest, if you give, you know, a woman some beads and she wants to, the idea is that she flashes her boobs to you. So he asked a girl if she would flash her boobs to him, and she said, yes, I need some beads. He had some beads in his tent, but not on him, so he's so excited, he starts running away, and the cops see this guy running, they're like, that's him! Gets gang tackled, like just tossed in a car, and like, you know, like he's, you know, a bit drunk obviously, and just confused look on his face, like cuffed and everything. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, I didn't really want to get too involved. You know, there's police around. It's like, whatever. I don't want to get roped into this. And yeah, they ended up figuring out it wasn't him. Apologized like a ton because he easily could have just like pressed charges and be like, what the fuck? You guys gang tackled me. I'm just trying to see some nipples over here. So that
why were you running? Boobs.
I mean, that was a wild story. I'm sure many more will flood in, and then we can get a follow-up next week on episode 164. Yeah. So headed back to WeFest, Morgan Wallen. I'm looking forward to it. Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. I got a ragtag crew. It's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
The last thing that just popped up into my mind about WeFest is we were packing up to leave on Sunday, and we were like towards one of the last ones to leave, like. And people just leave everything behind sometimes. Like the cleanup of that has to be just a disaster. And this school bus that was like converted into like a very shitty camper was driving away, and the guys are like hanging out the window like this is a frat, and they're like, WeFest, we're coming back for you. And they have this super nice generator on the back of their bus, and it just falls off. And the bus is still driving, and they're like, the generator fell off. And so this bus starts to just back up and backs over the generator, but the back of the bus like lifts the wheels off the ground. So it's like high-centered under this generator's underneath it, and then they all have to get out and like rock the bus back and forth to get it to like drive back over the generator. And
You're driving along, and all of a sudden the kids are yelling from the back seat, I gotta go to the bathroom, Daddy. Not now, damn it.
And I'm watching this, and I was just like, oh my God, I can't wait to be home.
That's the most ridiculous story. I mean, funny thing is, one year I went on like just for like a Saturday, met up with some buddies, and I got a spot in their like old school bus converted into camper. But it was awesome, like comfy as hell. Had shades all over like the windows, so it was just nice in there. We stayed up pretty late partying on Saturday night, and then this thing was so cozy inside that I was the first one to wake up. And I kind of pop up from like it was like a bench seat converted bed. I pop up and I'm like, I'm gonna peek out the window. I look out, dude. Everybody is gone. And it's such a like gnarly contrast, and especially like, oh shit, like this is depressing as fuck. Like this is a wasteland. And yeah, there's just lawn chairs, tents everywhere. Actually, I think they have like the Boys and Girls Ranch. Like people volunteer to like come get what's still reusable, and then they like go sell it and stuff. So that's actually, and that was when we went. I don't know if that's still a thing, but so not the worst thing in the world. But WeFest, we'll have a recap next week. I may be dead, but we'll see what happens.
We'll figure it out. So NFL's coming back. We are like under 40 days. I think it's like 37 days until it's back, and there's a lot of contract negotiations going around. Jonathan Taylor just asked for a trade.
Classic.
Jerry Jones is refusing to sign his offensive lineman to a big deal. But I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking these defensive guys get some big contracts. Why not just do all offense?
How do you mean?
You get you sign your defense to minimums, and you just put all your money in offense. Yeah, and you put up 56 points a game and give up about 42.
I'm sure that's been tried before.
You know how fun it would be to watch football like that, and how much it would suck to play defense?
Just be a terrible defensive squad. You have guys on offense coming over to play defense.
I mean, some teams pretty much do it, but like they'll get like one or two defensive stars, but then it's like, okay, well, that's all you're putting out there. But I was like, if you're worried about the salary cap, and most of it's like some teams, it's like, well, Patrick Mahomes makes more than the Kansas City Royals are worth, so we can't pay anyone.
Yeah, that's a bit of a contrast. You want the best quarterback in the world, that's the price you're going to have to pay, though.
But I also don't get the like salary cap thing, because they're like, oh, we saved money because we just did a signing bonus, or we did like a...
I think they just continually prolong their payments.
Yeah, or it's like, oh, we converted $25 million of his into a signing bonus, so they literally just give him $25 million and it doesn't go against the cap.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
So that's what they do to like free up cap space. But I'm like, so what's the point of even having a cap then?
There is no point. I don't know. I think it's a principle. I think what we need to get back to is more Booby Miles in the NFL. Last year I said line Justin Jefferson up as quarterback and wide receiver. Let him kick the extra points, and let's fire him up at safety.
Did you see Justin Reed, the Chiefs safety? So their kicker got hurt last year, and he's their starting safety, and he kicked in high school and was like a super good soccer player. So they're like, Justin, can you kick? We need you to do kickoff. He's like, oh, okay. And he goes out there and he puts it through the end zone for a touchback, and they're like, what the...
Really got a hold of that one.
And then he just nails the extra point, and they're like, why do we even have a kicker when our starting safety is better than our kicker?
I mean, the kicker probably comes into play when it's like game on the line. You got like a 49-yarder.
I think the dumber the kicker is, the better he'd be, because then he can't like...
Rocks for brains. No emotion at all.
Yeah, just a potato.
Could it be like a Moneyball thing, when they're like judging somebody's like how hot their girlfriend is, confidence issues? It's
who's
like,
Fabio?
Yeah, let's just ask this guy a series of questions, and depending on how stupid he is, he could be our new starting kicker.
I mean, it's essentially the replacements.
That sounds about right. I'm just saying, let's start playing both sides of the ball. These are professional athletes.
Or give them, like, if you score a touchdown, you get to take one player from the opposing team away from them. So it's like, you just lost your quarterback.
Honestly, an NFL team should look at signing Shohei Ohtani. He's so good in baseball that you never know, he could be a decent football player.
I mean, he's an athlete.
He's an athlete for sure. I don't know. Maybe we just got to start crossing the sports a little bit. I want more Deion Sanders, multi-sports, both sides of the ball.
I think it's sweet. Like, there's people that are trying to do it right now in college. Like Travis Hunter's like Colorado's best wide receiver, also like a lockdown corner. He'll play corner in the NFL, but it's like this dude might be able to do both. But he is dumb as shit.
Perfect. Let him kick too.
Yep.
Found your cornerback, wide receiver, and kicker. There's 3 spots.
Well, that's like
you pay him one salary, then you're saving money against the cap. I think we just figured it out.
There was a guy on our high school football team that we're both really good friends with that straight up did do everything.
Yeah.
If he could long snap and punt, he would have.
Then there's me. Let's just say if I was lined up on the offensive side of the ball and they did any sort of scouting whatsoever, it's a run to the opposite side. They didn't run to my side, Matt. Are you kidding? I was just out there to make 11 dudes. They're like, you need 11 out there. Go line up on the opposite side of where we're going.
Tim can't find his helmet, so get in there. You don't know how to take yours off.
Pretty much, yeah. I did the classic cowboy collar, so I just looked huge. It was awesome.
I think those need to be more prominent. Like Leighton Vander Esch from the Cowboys has it.
It was like you had to like fake it till you made it, you know. And I was just like, I'm gonna look like a badass. Eventually evolved into said badass.
So when I was living with all football players in college, there was this one safety who just fucking sucked. And they call him. They're like, "Oh yeah, he's 99." And I was like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "He's a 99 in Madden. He just wears a bunch of accessories. Can't play at all though."
You got to get all the accessories down. If you got to look good, you might play good. Probably not, but that's what could happen. We'll see. NFL's right around the corner. Dog days of summer just leaking into the fall time. Is that a sad statement?
No, I love the fall.
Yeah, I know you do.
I don't want any more bullshit anytime during the day from anyone. That includes me.
Also, me saying I love the fall is the gayest thing that was said on the podcast so far.
Nice. Matt, what's your go-to water vessel? If you could choose any kind of water vessel, what would it be?
I think it has to be a pontoon, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was just curious.
For the social aspect of it, from my track record, I'm not very good at driving jet skis.
Crashed them on the rocks.
Yeah. Apparently, I missed the lake.
And the jet ski lift altogether.
Yep.
You didn't want me to park it on the lawn here? It was like 10 feet up on the beach.
Yeah, that hole was in the bottom of it before I started driving it and hit all the rocks. Yeah, I would say pontoon.
Oh, I'm kind of fantasizing about a double-decker pontoon lately.
Dude,
I think it would be sick.
Honestly, I kind of want... Because is there any like new double-decker pontoons? Because everyone I see is like kind of a shittier old one that like...
No, you need a more modern one, and... Obviously, you need a slide off the top. Like, that's just a no-brainer right there. But I just think the double-decker pontoon would be awesome.
Yeah. That would be... If I could have one, it would be like 26-foot pontoon, double-decker, couple captain's chairs, the 2 couches on the front, and then a big sectional couch on the back.
What about like a houseboat or even getting into the yacht?
There was a time where I was trying to go on a vacation to like fucking Provo, Utah or something and rent a houseboat for a week. And you get like basically a double decker pontoon with like living quarters in it that has a slide on it.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Which would be, and you just go to like Lake Powell and you just like float around for a week and it'd be so much fun.
I mean, I'm just missing the lake this summer, and it's been a big river summer. Not really a big river summer, but that's like the other option. And I'm like, I just need to get a double-decker pontoon for this.
I see, like part of me would say like getting one of those like sweet wakeboarding boats, but one, they're so flippin' expensive.
I mean, double-decker pontoon's not going to be cheap.
I saw like a used one for sale, one of these boats for $155,000.
Yeah.
And I was like, goo!
I just don't know if I would justify a wakeboarding boat if I'm not wakeboarding. And I don't wakeboard, so therefore I just don't think hey, you guys want to come wakeboarding? I don't really know how to drive or where to go, or I also don't have a wakeboard, so
I found a bunch of sticks. We'll just tie them together.
I'm just saying, you roll into the bay, you got your houseboat or your house pontoon, double decker, whatever. The music's popping, people are having a good time. It just sounds like an awesome time. And you always have shade with the double decker. I mean, the shade.
that would be big for me. So you know those canopies that go on pontoons?
Yeah.
So when I was at the lake last week, my thumb, a little bit of a bruise there still.
Are you okay?
Yeah, it was kind of funny because my dad's friend that I never really talked to before, and they're like, "Oh, can you put down the awning?" Because it was like getting close to like nighttime and it was a little windy. So I was like, "Sure." And then like my cousin's arm got like trapped in the side of it, and I was like, I went to grab it and it just fell and just guillotined my thumb. And my friend's dad is talking like politics or some shit, and I'm just like, fuck. And I was like, yeah, god damn it.
God, see, with the double decker pontoon, you don't have to take it down.
I wouldn't have to worry. I do worry about it getting a little top heavy if there's multiple people up there.
Okay, but when you're traversing and you're moving around, it's like, okay, you guys gotta get down from there now.
How funny would it be if you're just driving around the lake, someone just falls off the side?
Whatever.
But while we're talking about the movie Castaway,
fantastic film.
I think the porta potty sailboat thing that he has, that would be an ideal vessel.
That wouldn't be bad.
Also, why did he open some of the mail and not all of it?
Matt, that's symbolism within the movie.
Why didn't he just open? What if there was like a sat phone?
Because when he didn't open one of the packages, that was his hope, and FedEx had him so wrapped around his balls that he's like, I'm delivering this bitch.
What if he got rescued and then they charged him with opening other people's mail?
They should have. I mean, they should have, forced some international water crime on him.
Or he puts that, like, imagine being the person that gets that package after like 10 years.
It's that's part of it, Matt. Because at the end of the movie, he gets to a crossroads and he knows where that lady lives. She's clearly divorced. Like, that's part of it because you can see at their gate.
Castaway 2 is just a porno of him.
It could be on the water, on the double-decker pontoon. We were on to something here. It turns out they just get really into pontooning and then they live happily ever after. No, it gives them hope, Matt.
Do you think Tom Hanks had a romantic relationship with his volleyball?
I'm going to go ahead and say no, but pretty lonely on the island. Anything could happen.
Yeah. Yeah, he got rescued. He was banging a volleyball.
He also tried to hang himself in that movie.
Yep.
So.
And he used like a VCR tape as rope.
You gotta do what you gotta do when your FedEx plane just crashes.
God, I would not do well on a desert island.
What if in the package was just like a birthday cake? It's just like moldy, or a survival kit. In the package, the one he doesn't open just had everything he needed.
Yeah. Oh, a satellite phone and solar panels. It's just a dead dog.
Yeah. Let's move on.
So a woman worked at a hardware store, one of the big boxes, and so I don't know if you've seen the videos, but like in the Georgia area, a thing that has been what people have been doing is they basically just go in, load up a cart with power tools, and then leave. And they're instructed to not stop them. Apparently, they're supposed to like let them go out. And a 68-year-old lady who was working at said store tried to stop these three guys from leaving the store with like $5,000 worth of power tools.
From shoplifting?
And she got punched in the face 3 times. And then promptly fired for breaking their rules.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Apparently you can just get away with crime now.
Well, there's so many. I've seen it a ton where it's just like, and now that we're talking about it, it's probably going to show up on your phone because they're always listening. And like, they just walk out and they're like, well, hopefully we can get their license plate. Or like they'll go into the store and they have like power tools behind like a lock and key, and they'll literally just like break the thing and take the tools out.
Just walk out.
Yeah, and they're instructed not to do anything. This lady does something, gets punched in the face, and then promptly fired. Also, you're 68 years old. Maybe hang up the...
It's a real dick punch rodeo if I've ever heard one.
Yep, hang up the blue apron. And
what about, wasn't it like eBay employees where they'd form like a middle, like a linebacking core and then like take these people down?
Yeah, Best Buy.
Or Best Buy.
Yeah, Best Buy, they had this huge lady that was just built like a tank. Some guy was trying to steal like a laptop, and she just beat the shit out of him. And then the UFC hired her as a bodyguard.
That's awesome.
Talk about job security.
One lady gets punched in the face and fired. Another lady form tackles somebody, promptly gets a promotion to the UFC security detail. That's America for you. Crazy shit can happen. Land of the free, home of the punched in the face.
I hate this country, but I also love it at the same time. What do we got for Facebook Marketplace this week?
We got a couple doozies. As our listeners may or may not know, we talk about Facebook Marketplace or really anything people, just ridiculous stuff they post on Facebook, because it is quite redonkulous. I think Matt had most of them this week. Let's start with the freezer.
Oh, yeah. Someone posted a picture of what looks to be their deep freeze and just said, if anyone needs food, this is free. Please let me know if you could use it. And it is a picture of, I'm going to go through here and...
Yeah, they got a Healthy Choice cafe steamers, honey glazed turkey and potatoes.
A bunch of smart ones that you buy when you think you're going to lose weight and then you just become fat again. Chopped spinach. Loaf of bread.
It looks like some sort of hunk of meat.
Yep.
A T-bone steak in there.
Yep. But you know that this freezer's been off for like at least a couple days because there's like no ice in it.
Or it's the opposite. And all of this stuff has freezer burn because it's been in there since 2017.
There's an old Tupperware down there that looks like potato salad.
And of course, this person posted it to Bismarck's People Reporting News. Apparently, this is news.
Yeah, dude, this town sucks.
So yeah, if you guys need any food, hit us up.
Hit up Deandra.
Follow us on socials at NBNH Podcast. Send us a DM. We'll line you up with Deandra, who's giving away smart ones in her freezer. The other one, take this one.
Freaking daytime Emmy.
No.
Are you talking the anonymous one?
Yeah.
So this person, this is on Reporting the News again. So not much news, but they're like, are there any carpet cleaning places that will clean the carpet in an apartment? And she submitted this as anonymous member, but then signed it on her post.
Yeah, Tia.
Yeah, so if
Tia would like to remain anonymous, but let her know.
And also, if you're going to post this on Reporting the News, you could also just type this into Google and you'll get about 75 options for carpet cleaning.
Apparently, the fine folks of Bismarck do not know what news is.
We are so dumb.
Very dumb. Finishing it off, this lady decided to post a novel.
Yeah, I need a violin
what do you call these? It's like you can just post, like, instead of posting a normal text post, you can do it in like a picture form and just, I don't know how to explain
Most of the time people will do like cancer free or like
happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. This lady's like, nope, I'm going to tell you most of what's going on in my life.
Hello, everyone. Just wanted to share some good news. We finally will be getting our own apartment after getting kicked out of my brother's place. We are no longer in a violent environment. That was just the first two sentences. And then she goes on to ask for furniture. At one point, she said, if anyone remembers me, I'm the mother of 3 girls, and we moved our family here from God knows where. And, thank God we will be okay. Sorry for the long post, everyone. Why are you apologizing now? And this one actually makes sense. It's Bizman Online Garage Sale. So she's just looking for free shit on
Yeah.
And if you went there, you could probably find a bunch of free shit.
So, and her emojis tell a weird story. It goes smiley face, praying hands, different smiley face, praying hands, crying face,
smiley face, crying face,
happy crying face, and then birthday party blowing out a thingy-majigger.
The singy.
Yeah.
A lot to unpack there. I'm just saying, no need to air out all of your dirty laundry. Just say, I need some goddamn furniture. Or just like...
Literally, it could be like 10 words. In a tough spot, anyone getting rid of some furniture. Thanks.
Yeah.
But JoJo just went down a freaking rabbit hole.
Oh, JoJo. Never forget. Facebook Marketplace, a real doozy. We blew through that one. We got to get moving on to the next one here. Matt, do you have the randomizer?
Yep.
Okay, so this week we are doing the Olympics, which is the ranking game we play here from time to time, where we pick a topic, then we give out gold, silver, bronze medals, as well as lost in the middle round. We'll do some honorable mentions, perhaps some DQs. That's all optional. Rules state it is open for interpretation, but this time we're doing it different. Matt and I are going to have to agree on a gold, silver, bronze, lost in the middle round. And we're going to do Olympics of movies from a random year. So, Matt, why don't you go ahead and randomize the year? And we got to do this live.
I did it from 1989 to current.
Okay, what do we got? And I'm ready for it.
Randomizer is loading the result 2010.
All right, 2010 movies. If you're listening, feel free to look it up now. Oh, boy, we got some good ones here. Thank goodness. I was afraid we were going to get...
Oh, dude.
Yeah, let's go with the gold medal round.
Yeah, other guys? That's up there.
I pop 2 of them off the draw. Bang, bang. Yeah. Then I raise up to take the leader out.
Oh shit, I feel like I'm there now.
I hear a whistle. My partner's on the roof. He says, "Let's even the odds!" He tosses me down a Mossberg pump. I send one through his chest. Game over, bitches.
And how did that make you feel?
Like my cock was made of concrete.
The other guys starring Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, obviously from 2010. Great film if you haven't seen it yet. We play multiple sound clips from there every single episode.
It's not a bribe.
Of course it's a bribe.
There's a couple other movies, so if that's going to be our gold medal...
Yeah, so we can just move on to silver medal round. Movies from 2010 Olympics on No Brains, No Headache podcast. What are you thinking?
Titanic 2 came out.
Okay, no.
I would go either The Fighter or The Town.
Let's go with The Town.
I was saying I was going to go The Town as well because that's the one I most recently saw for the first time, like a month ago. Unreal movie.
You just saw this recently?
Yeah, I hadn't seen it until like a month ago, and I was like, how did I not?
I swear, it takes place in
Charlestown, Mass.
In Massachusetts. Ben Affleck, Jeremy Renner. Great movie. I'm pretty sure there's like a Boston Red Sox player or some sort of professional athlete or celebrity who watches this movie like 3 to 5 times a week.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was like a Braves player or something. I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it for the life
Joe Mazzulla, according to Reddit, watches Ben Affleck's movie The Town 4 times every week and credits the mindset from the movie for helping his team's success. All right. And Joe Mazzulla is a Boston Celtics. Is he a coach? Who the fuck is this guy?
So, I'm thinking of...
Oh, he's a coach.
What do you think about the movie Inception?
All right, so The Town, silver medal, and then 2010 films. Inception's good. Social Network is good.
127 Hours, Book of Eli.
Shutter Island.
Twilight Eclipse.
Due Date. Little Fockers. Let's go with... Okay, our options are...
I'm not a huge Inception guy.
How do you feel about The Social Network?
The Social Network.
We just talked about Facebook.
Yeah.
I feel like we need
the
to
Social
give it
Network.
a nod.
Yeah, the Social Network bronze. Lock that in.
Okay, and this is obviously about Facebook. How it all started. They have Jesse Eisenberg is in there. He plays Mark Zuckerberg. Andrew Garfield also in there. You have the whatever twins.
The Winklevoss twins. Go check out their cover band. They're the worst fucking music act of all time.
Isn't that the Hammer Brothers? The Hammers? Army Hammer and whatever the fuck his brother's name is?
Navy Hammer? I'll be in the living room.
Victor. Army and Victor Hammer.
Great last name if you're in the porn industry.
So we have gold is the other guys, silver is the town, bronze the social network. Now we got a lost in the metal round. What were you thinking?
I am seeing a lot of DQs.
Okay. What do you think for LIMR? And then we'll get into.
That's tough.
It's gotta be
127 hours is pretty good. I really liked Book of Eli.
What about Shutter Island?
I would be okay with Shutter Island.
All right, let's just get to it and agree on Shutter Island. Lost in the metal round. You got Leo playing just a psycho person.
Yeah, that movie is
Mark Ruffalo in there.
Yeah,
directed by Martin Scorsese. Fantastic film.
Yeah. So some that I would say gets the DQ would be basically any of the disaster movies that came out. I've seen quite a few of them, which is terrifying.
Ooh, Jackass 3D was that year. Honorable mention.
I liked Kick-Ass. Mainly because Nick Cage gets his brains blown out.
We must be on a different list because I stopped seeing yours a while ago.
Yeah, I'm on shitty movies of the 2010s. That's how I get most of my good ones. There was one that I saw that I just hated, but now I can't find it.
The A-Team, when they went on to do several of those.
Ooh, Robin Hood with Russell Crowe, that sucked.
That was terrible. DQ.
Yep.
MacGruber.
Basically Tooth Fairy, Marmaduke,
DQ.
Secretariat.
DQ.
Any dog movie. MacGruber I didn't think was very good.
Oh yeah, the disaster movies. There they are.
Expendables, Night and Day was okay.
We'll have to give Inception an honorable mention. Get Him to the Greek. I know people like that one. I'm not the biggest fan. The Fighter's got to be an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Everything Must Go with Will Ferrell was just I couldn't get into it.
Wasn't it kind of just depressing?
Yeah. I think he just yeah. I think that's just his character from Old School. When he gets divorced and it just goes down a spiral.
It was not a great year for comedies outside of the other guys.
No. Inside Job was a documentary made in 2010. Was that the insider trading?
No idea.
The global financial meltdown that took place in fall 2008 caused millions of jobs and homes lost and plunged the United States into a deep economic recession. Matt Damon narrates. Fantastic.
Hot Tub Time Machine. Pretty funny, I'll give it that, but fucking terrible movie.
All right, let's go through it again. Gold medal round for Olympics of 2010 movies is The Other Guys. Silver is The Town. Bronze is The Social Network. And lost in the medal round, Shutter Island. Fantastic. All right, Matt, let's wrap up the show. Think we had a good one. I'm off to WeFest. Recap next week. What else do we got?
Follow us on social media at MBNH Podcast, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. And if you want to leave us a review, head on over to iTunes, Apple Music. Find us under the podcast. Scroll to the bottom. Hit 5 stars or 1 star, whatever you do. And then hit write a review. Say Jordan sucks, Matt's cool. And we'll see you guys next week.
Episode 164 up next.
This is a freestyle to top of the dome. Here we go. And I do it again, 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 again. I do it only once. Again, 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 again. I do it only once. I go down that river slow to the place I shoot like Carmelo. I'm living my life and we go hard, floating on the river in a party barge. And I see you on a sea-doo. Your shirt was white and it was see-through. Please use your spray, no mosquitoes. Every time you found me, it's a free throw. Hey girl, why you calling me? I said, oh please don't bother me. I'm so sick of apologies. That's so damn appalling to me. But last night was the best night that I have ever lived. Then I woke up all choked up and realized it was a fib.